Good evening, everybody. Good evening. How are you? This is Cathy McReynolds, your fun, money, and skill coach. So as you come on, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that share button. Today, we are going to talk to you about growing your business online. As you know, we are in day 2 of our 21-day summit, and I'm excited. I'm super excited about today. So as you come on, let me know you're on. Say hello so we can say hello back to you. Hey, Miss Denise, how are you? Hey, Justin, what's going on? And also, guys, let me know if you got a chance to get the homework in there today. I know yesterday we talked about getting your business started, and I'm at a networking group, so I thought this would be awesome just to be able to have you guys hear from some ladies who actually took that plunge and said, you know what, I'm gonna go out there and start my own business. And I just want you to understand and know and learn from their stories that everybody feels a certain kind of way. So it's just not you. So no matter where you're at, if you decided what kind of business you want to start or you have no idea, it's always a starting point, and we all share those same challenges. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive in and get started. Thank you guys for coming on, and do me a favor, go ahead and hit that share button so that we can help and impact a lot of lives out here. So the very first person that we're gonna talk to, guys, I'm gonna have her just talk to you about her business and the challenges and the struggles of business and what and the changes. So Denise, you said I didn't get a chance to do, well, you want to make sure you get that done because we got 21 days. There's a lot of stuff out there. I know it's your birthday, so happy birthday. We're excited for you, but we're going to make that happen. So the very first person that we're going to talk to, guys, she has a business that works with, I'm gonna let her tell you about the business and how she got started in it and the challenges and the fear and all of that from just everything. So I want you to just, as you watch this, see yourself in the people that you hear from today. I want you to know that what you're feeling, you're not the only one that's feeling that way. And once you realize that you're not alone, you're gonna be like, okay, I got this, I can do that. And the great thing about it is that we're all here to help you win. So let's go ahead. You want to move a little closer here? Let's get you on in here. So we have Miss Kim. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell me your name.
Hi, I'm Kim Jurachody, and I am a licensed massage therapist. I own Cleveland Therapeutic Massage, formerly known as the Healing Bar in Westgate in Rocky River.
Awesome. So now tell me, how did you get into that business?
Well, it started when I got my first massage, actually years ago. I was having a lot of muscle pain, headaches, and nothing. I was trying everything and nothing was helping me. Nothing was working. I was trying all kinds of alternative treatments. I wasn't crazy about taking pills, but I started getting massage and it helped me. And I thought about it, and after a couple of years, I stopped what I was doing mid-career, and I thought, I'm going to do this. I want to help people. This is helping me. So went to school. While I was working full-time, I went to school and got my license. I'm licensed in the state of Ohio from the medical board. And so I've been doing this for like 15 years now, and in the last 3 years, I have owned my own business.
That's awesome. So while we're there, I want you guys to just remember what she said. She had a challenge, and because of that challenge, she decided to create a business from it. And so a lot of people think, well, what do I do? What type of business should I start? Start with something that you're passionate about. So Kim, since you started with something you're passionate about, can you tell how that journey, just walk us through the journey over the last 3 years of like when you first got started, where did you go to get your license from? How did you decide on your business? Just walk us through your mind as you went through that and also the crazy parts.
Well, so I got licensed 15 years ago. Like I said, I had to go to Columbus. Back then you go to Columbus and you take the state board exam. Now you can do it I think they have testing centers around the state, so you don't have to go to Columbus. But once I got my license, then I was able to start practicing. I went there's different routes you can go. You can go medical, hospital, chiropractor's office, fitness clubs, sporting clubs. I was working at a salon and spa. I started working at their front desk while I was going to school part-time, and then when I got my license, then I started working in the spa full-time. Now, I did mostly through the 13 years or so worked in the salon and spa field, and it was fine, but I felt like I was getting stuck, like I was in my comfort zone, and I felt like I need to do something else. I felt like I was just bored, just doing the same thing every day, and I wanted to learn more techniques, and so I found the technique. I've taken many classes, got certified in many techniques, but I found something that I was passionate about.
So before you get into that, because that's going to be interesting, I already know what that is. One of the things that really stuck out in what you said is that you felt stuck. And I know I speak to a lot of people who have been in a career for 10 or 15 years and they feel stuck, but they also feel stuck that they don't know how to just go out there and take that leap. So before we get into the technique of what you do, can you tell them, I'm probably sure you probably remember that moment when you said, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it. So can you tell us and walk us through that journey that you had that day that you decided that you were gonna take your life in your own hands? And I see you thinking there, so I love that.
Well, I'm trying to think, okay, how exactly did that go down? As I said, I liked learning new and different techniques, and there was a particular type of massage that I wanted to learn. And my boss was all for it. She was the manager of the spa, so I traveled out of town actually to learn this, and I came back and I was so excited to start practicing, and it involved setting up the room a certain way, equipment. And the owner decided, he changed his mind, he didn't want to do that any longer. And so it was like, well, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I want to help people. And he didn't want to think outside of the box. He wanted to do mainstream. So it came to a decision, and I thought, well, I can't. This is the direction I'm going to go, and they're not going to support this. So I've been doing this for so many years, over 10 years. I think it's time for me to do something else. Well, I happened to, run into somebody that I hadn't seen in years, and she told me she's a business owner. She told me what she was doing, and one thing led to another, and in a matter of 8 months, I was taking business classes, getting ready to open my own business.
I absolutely love that. So guys, there were so many nuggets in there. I hope you caught those nuggets. Number one, there was fear. Number two, there was, you're not gonna do this, and this is how I wanna serve people. There's people that you collaborate with so that who've been where you want to go, and they're willing to help you. And I'm sure there was a lot of fear as to if you should do this.
Oh, yes.
Can you tell us what was your biggest fear? What was your biggest fear about getting started?
Well, failing in business, and people not coming to me, and just, the whole thing just falling apart, and then what? I left this job. I left a good place of employment, and now what?
So, you see, what you're thinking is normal. Everybody goes through that. Everybody feels that. But what happens is when you have something deep down inside of you and you develop that and you think about that, your passion, you just do it anyway. You make it happen anyway. So I'm sure along this journey you probably had some challenges, failures.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think the biggest failure that you had, and how did you overcome that?
Since I've been in business, which has been almost 3 years, I think about a year ago, it seemed like all of a sudden everything kind of just like, I hit this plateau and I felt like, what's happening? Like, I was like just existing. I don't know how to describe it. I felt like I had no plan. Like all of a sudden it was like, I felt lost. So what I did was I found a massage mentor, and she's actually out of state, but we really connected, and I went through some training, through some counseling with her for, it was like an 8-week program, but I'm actually still in contact with her regularly. And, you know, it just came down to like simple business. We were talking earlier tonight about your niche, and I should have said it earlier. You know, a niche. You know, it's either a population you serve, or a problem you solve. And she's like, "What is your niche? You have to figure out: is it a population? Is there a certain thing? What need do you fulfill? And then you have to target those people." And you know, she just really helped turn my thinking around, and it's just been such a big help, and it has turned things around in my business. And so the niche has something to do with the new technique that I've learned over the past few years. My specialty.
That's awesome, guys. I mean, such golden nuggets there, and I definitely know that you can relate, you know, to what she's talking about. So if you find yourself not just in that point where, what do? Seek help, seek counsel, seek someone who has been, I said it before, where you're at and where you want to go, because that's where your answer is. It's a lot easier talking to someone who has that understanding of what you're going through, and sometimes it's not your family. Sometimes it's not the people that you know and you like and trust. It's always somebody different, because they walk those shoes and they understand exactly what you're going to. So if you want to just go ahead and tell us about your specialty, your business, and any other final advice that you would like to leave with everyone.
Sure. So where most massage therapists use their hands-on to do the massage, I do something called ashiatsu. It's ASHIATSU, and it's barefoot massage. So I'm standing on the table, holding onto bars suspended from the ceiling, and I'm using my feet, bare feet, and I always tell people, bare, sanitized, clean, pedicured, soft feet, warm feet, to deliver the massage. And it's a deep pressure massage, but it's not uncomfortable deep. It's not painful, or it's not. Some people think, a lot of people love deep tissue, but it's not for everybody, because some deep tissue massage can be pretty painful, or you can be sore if it's too deep. However, this is a relaxing deep pressure massage.
She on your back with her feet, y'all.
And I'm not walking on you. People think I'm walking on your back or I'm standing on you, and it's not that. I'm usually using one foot at a time.
That's pretty neat. I mean, so that's a niche, right? Not everybody would think about, hey, let me get some foot action in here today, right? But that's pretty exciting. So if somebody wants to reach out to you, learn more about your business, your journey, how can they reach out to you?
Well, my website is clevelandtherapeuticmassage.com, and you can call me at 216-849-9029. And I was going to make a comment about the niche too. Also, anybody that is experiencing back pain, whether it's neck, shoulder, low back, sciatica pain, this ashiatsu is very helpful, very effective with any kind of back pain, but it's for anybody, actually. It's very relaxing.
So now, thinking of your business that you have, and thank you for sharing that, how can online enhance your business? Like, what do you think about when you think about bringing that? We know it's an offline business, and that's what I want people to know, that even if you have a business that's offline, you can advertise and educate online, but you can also get it offline and service people. So how do you think you can learn and grow from bringing your business online?
Well, I mean, I know I can help educate people on what they can do self-care at home, like in between massages. I do have a small section, like a little boutique retail area at work, and I use certain products on my clients, and so they can buy them if they want to take them home. And basically, it's just helping you take care of yourself in between massages.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing with us today, Kim. So, guys, what I want you to just notice is that, number one, there's always a time in your life where you feel this pain point, where you feel that what you're doing in life is not getting you to where you want to go. And so when you feel that way, you got to do something about it. I always say, call an audible and change the play. Just because you're running one play in life doesn't mean you have to keep running that play. And if there's something inside of you that's saying, man, I was put here to do something different, then act upon that. Seek out people who can help you, because some people get so focused on the business versus what they love to do in that niche that they would share even if they didn't get a paycheck. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All righty, so guys, I hope you got a lot from that. You did awesome. I appreciate you. So now we're going to get over to another young lady who's going to talk to you about her business and her journey. She's been at it for about 9 years and just an outstanding person. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell them who you are. Let's start with this. How about you tell them who you are and how you got, before we tell them what you do, how you got started into business.
Hi, my name is Colleen McCarter, and I got started into business because I struggled with my own personal health and wellness. I really wanted to lose weight, and I was, I gotta be honest, a fat child at 13. I was called an Oompa Loompa at 12 by a boy I realized probably liked me, but I was too silly to even ask him. So, it started with, wanting to be on all sorts of diets, going to a dietitian at 14 to seek some help and some guidance.
Wow, so that journey started a while ago.
Yeah, it did.
Wow. Okay, so have you always worked for yourself, or have you worked?
No, I actually went to college and went to school for nursing, and midway through the nursing track, I had to apply for nursing school, and because I was always being in fitness and wanting to lose weight, being that kind of chronic yo-yo dieter, it was suggested that I should go into the nutrition field. And I did that, and that was when nutrition and dietetics was doing a little bit of a change, a shift, and you could have studied underneath the dietitian. Now they were doing more clinical, they were being licensed. So I went the old school route, and then actually went into food management, and then I worked in nursing home care, long-term care, hospital care for a while, and then I got sick of that, got married, had 2 kids, was still struggling with my weight, yo-yo dieting, and then I moved to an area where a girl, one New Year's Eve said, and she didn't know this, but I was on my bed, trying to get my jeans on and suck in the tummy and zip up, and I felt like a stuffed sausage in the jeans. I was trying to look cute, not feeling too cute, and she's like, hey, let's go to Weight Watchers. So I lost 55 pounds, got control of my health, and became a Weight Watcher leader for 12 years, and that's what I did. And then all of a sudden I had that, kind of like Kim, that come to Jesus moment, so to speak. And I was realizing that people needed more than just a plan. They needed a lifestyle change, because I saw the same people going in and out that proverbial door. I'd get people to lose 50, 100 pounds. They'd gain 75 back. They'd see me in the door and they'd be like, oh my God, run, I'm so embarrassed. But, you know, I always led from the place of, don't be embarrassed, that's the reality. You have to change some habits. So I decided to leave there and start my own business and start to guide and coach people on more lifestyle acceptance and self-esteem.
That's awesome. So tell me now, when you made that decision that you were going to run your own business,
Right.
what was going on in your life at that time?
Oh gosh, Cathy, you know what was going on in my life at that time? I was, you know, just sick of being with a company that really didn't care about people. I was feeling like it was work. They were working me because I was doing all sorts of at work. So I was putting stuff in my car. I was bringing scales. I was working for someone else. Didn't have that, you know, real time freedom. And my boss just said to me, because I had to weigh in, you know, as a leader, you have to weigh in, you know, once a month. And I was tired of the scale being, you know, my self-control and my end all be all. And she said, are you in or you're out? And I had one of those menopausal moments. And I said, I'm out. Like, I'm on the bridge and I'm like, I'm gone, you know?
I love it. I absolutely love it. So when you had that I'm out of here moment and I'm going to take that scale and shove it.
Yeah, I did. It was like, you know what? It was like, you know what? I'm going to be like, you know, David and Goliath. I'm going to be David and throw the stones. And I'm going to fight those Fortune 500 companies. And I'm going to take ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to work with them. Now, not to say that after I jumped off that bridge, I'm like, what in the F did I just do? You know, it was like thinking, I have no income. You know, what am I doing? But, you know, it's sometimes just have to do it.
That's right. So guys, did you get that nugget there? We just make crazy decisions when it doesn't make sense to most people, and you just do it, and then once you do it, doubt sets in. Oh, yeah. I want you to understand that doubt sets in. So what you're feeling is normal. So once that doubt set into you, what did you do from that moment?
You know, I think I was like Kim. I just tried to find a network. I at least was networking while I was working and trying to meet people and kind of collaborating with people who've done what I've done, and that just really helped. Feeling like that motivation, you can do it, you have something to offer. Finding people to help me build my website, getting someone, you know, to help do the accounting, really working on personal growth, you know, and staying with, you know, my health journey and learning and falling and getting back up. And I mean, it's really been, you know, 9 years when I made that decision to do it. It's been, you know, been tough.
Tough. Do you guys get that? Business is tough, and only the strong survive out here, right? But you can't do it unless I shouldn't say you can't. It's harder to do it when you're doing it by yourself. So you got to surround yourself with people who understand the journey that you're going through. So would you mind sharing with us, Colleen, like what was one of the biggest challenges that you've had over the 9 years, and how did you handle that?
I think, you know, Cathy, it really still goes on today. It's competing with the big boys, I call them, the Weight Watchers of the world, the Nutrisystems, the Jenny Craigs, the hospital plan systems, you know, the doctors that have all these books, and the paleo and the, you know, Atkins, and then now the keto diet, and everybody wants that quick fix. And the reality is in life and in business, there's no quick fix, you know, to get there. It's hard work. It's that sweat equity you have to put in. It's that passion. It's, you know, I'm not perfect in, you know, I've, you know, went up and down, but I try to educate people on, you know, what's in the food that we're eating. Do you need to drink more water? Those small steps, because I've lived it and I want to share, you know, the joy of living it and meeting people where they're at, and not saying, oh, you need to follow this 1,200 calorie plan. We work together to make it work.
So awesome, guys. I hope you got those nuggets in there. So if you heard, you know, when Colleen talked about comparing, we talked about that yesterday. You cannot compare yourself to where someone else is at. There's someone out there. I mean, like there's 2 million people on Facebook, somebody out there will relate to what you're doing. You don't need them all. You just need a few people, just a handful. And as a matter of fact, tomorrow, which we were going to talk about today, but I thought this would be so much more powerful, I'm going to show you with just 50 people how you can turn that into an $8,000 a month income. So that's awesome. I just want you guys to know from business owners that what you're feeling, everyone feels the exact same way. So knowing that you had every eye, is like, you know, everybody's looking at you, right?
Yeah.
You're competing with everyone. So you think, how do you move through that on a day-to-day basis?
Prayer.
Prayer.
I really
what,
you know,
what else can you say?
What we do. You know, get on your knees and say, Lord, you gave this to me. Give me some money. You know, ask and we shall receive. I mean, basically, I hate to say it, but it's all, you know, that's what it is. Otherwise, I'd be going up to Kohl's and applying, you know, every single day.
Well, guys, if you're on here with me every day, you know that that is my number one go-to. The man up above, if you have an inkling, if you have a thought, if you have some type of desire in you to run your own business, to do your own thing, that was a gift for you. That was something that was especially assigned to you. So you better go to that person who assigned it to you to help you get through it. So Colleen, would you like to tell us a little bit more about your business and just any advice that you would give to people who are thinking about starting their own business as well?
The name of my business is Sustainawell. Eat well, live well. Sustainawell is more sustainability, wellness. It's not a diet plan. It's working a lifestyle. So, you know, really, I would say find what drives you and what you're passionate about, and then craft that passion and figure it out, because as Cathy said, if you have that spirit in you moving, that's your gift and you can't deny it, and you have to take it to the next level.
Awesome, awesome. That's so true, guys. And so that's part of your homework for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and throw that out while you're here. It's to sit down and just write out about 3 to 5 things that you're 100% passionate about, something that you're probably already doing now, you're just not getting a paycheck from it. And we're going to teach you how to turn that passion into a profit and to make things happen. So you want to tell them how they can reach you, Colleen, and any last thing that you want to share?
Yeah, you can reach me on, I have a Facebook called Sustainawell. You can go to my website at www.sustainawell.com. I give a free kind of coaching session. There's a call to action button on my website, or you can give me a call at 440-552-6540. Love to hear from you and just, you know, bounce ideas or collaborate, and maybe give you some advice offline if you want.
Awesome, awesome. And then one last thing that we're going to talk about. So I know you're online, and we know you just talked about how they can reach you. How do you feel you can grow your business from being online?
That's a great question. I've been doing some video work and just giving people information, tips, tools, ideas, recipes. I do a little cooking show. I have Colleen's Corner online. I just got my Instagram up, doing some things that way. So really just educating people, and I can pull people in to want to go to get the free consult. I also recommend some great whole food supplements. It's Juice Plus, it's fruits and vegetables in a capsule and a chew, and a kind of a meal replacement shake that's all vegan, vegetarian. So that's what I recommend, plus maybe a vitamin D. So I do have some products online that I recommend, because you don't need a boatload of supplements. They're really not serving you, and we talk about that when I work with people too. So
that's awesome, guys. So I hope this brought you a ton of value tonight. 2 things, 2 action steps tonight. Number 1, as I said, write down, figure out what your niche is. Figure out what you're passionate about. Tomorrow, we're going to share with you how to go online so that you can do the research and see what people are looking for. Because think about when you have a challenge and when you have something you want to know about, what do? We Google it, right? So Google has this great program that tomorrow I'm going to show you exactly how to go inside of it and look for the exact keywords that people are looking for, so that you can bring that business online. So that is your homework number 1. Go ahead and make sure you do that. And then number 2, I want you to write down, what is your biggest fear? And we talked about that from yesterday. What is your biggest fear of just jumping out there? Because that's important. And as I talked about yesterday, when you put it out there and when you say, hey, here's what I'm afraid of, then we can remove that doubt from you and we can start helping you to get into business in the next 21 days. And that's just a launch. So once you launch, you got to fly it. You got to keep it up in orbit. So I appreciate you guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Does anyone have any questions for any of the ladies right now? If you do, you can go ahead and hit them in the comments. I believe we can go ahead and, yes, I can see some of the comments here. So if you guys want to go ahead, if you have any comments, I'm trying to look through them now. Or if you have any questions for them while you hear about their business, about them getting started, you can go ahead and put that through, and we will answer those questions for you. If not, guys, we're going to go ahead and end this. I'm trying to look through. I see a lot of highs and all of that stuff. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Well, I appreciate you guys. Again, this is Cathy McReynolds. I'm your fun, money, and skill coach. My job is to help you grow your business online or decide what type of business that you want and your online strategist. We're here. That was the other tip that I wanted to give you. Find a networking group where you can go offline and meet some people. Had it not been, we met through Meetup.
Yeah.
I think Meetup originally. So find a networking group. Find at least one. I would say 2 to 3, but find at least 1 to 3 networking groups that you can meet different people outside of your circle that you're used to being in. And once you do that, you guys can do some collaboration, which Colleen talked about, and that's how you begin to grow. When you start to think that it's just about you, then that's when all the challenges come in. So remember, pray, and then go out and meet people and help other people, and just take the focus off yourself. And every time you're talking to someone, just act like you're their best friend and you're giving them the best advice as possible. So Tanya wants to know, let me know how you went to the vendors. When you say went to the vendors, give me a little bit more. Let me know how you went to vendors. So are you talking about once you decided what business you had, or are you talking about the meetup groups? I'll give you a few seconds. I know we got kind of delay. Oh, how did you set that up? So what you do, if you go to Meetup or you look on Facebook where it says events, there's always local events. So what I always try to do is at least once a week, once a month at the worst case scenario, I'm gonna find a group, and you just keep going until you connect. I go to a ton of them. It's not all of them that you connected. I think we've been around like a year now.
Yeah.
We've been meeting up. It was about, 20 people here tonight? It's about 20 of us here tonight. So we've been meeting up for about a year. There's new people that come in, and it takes time to develop relationships. So when you come, don't come to tell about your business. Come to get to know people. Come with that agenda that you want to learn about people, you want to know about them, and then eventually you're going to end up doing business and building relationships. It takes time. Just like when you're dating, you just don't go, do what you do with somebody the first day, the first week, the first month. You shouldn't, right? So that's the same thing with business. Just keep it natural. Act like you're courting, and think of it that way, because when people are like, hey, you want to buy my stuff? You want to get, yeah, you're like, get back. Like, too much, too fast. All right, great question, though. Thank you for that. You guys have anything to say on that?
I wanted to also add, Eventbrite is a good place to go to, too. If you go to eventbrite.com, a lot of people post events there, whether it's networking, chamber events, are a great place to meet people. You can do a meetup and just go hiking and, build relationships and find things there, too. It doesn't have to be a networking meetup. And what I did is I created a meetup because I wanted to get people. So if you can't find one, create one.
There you go. And you like animals, Tanya. You got a big one. To get in the field, she did work in her field to get used to that field. So, well, it was kind you were in nursing, right?
Well, I did go into I was in dietetics, and but I wasn't in that role of coaching and consulting. So, but it was a passion. I always wanted to help, women. So I sort of was in the field, but I wanted to take it, not working for someone else in that field. I wanted to work on my own.
She wanted to be our own boss.
There you go.
Boss lady. All right, anything you want to add to that?
I was just gonna say, just look into local groups and check them out. Try like 1 or 2 a week, and some of them might click and some might not. But just get out there and try to go once or twice. I would say at least once a week. I would try.
Awesome. So they want to know. They want to know, how did you? Hold on. Let's see. How did she help herself learn by going to vendors? And not inquiring about sales, just asking, how did you train yourself? Did you have a system for training yourself?
I think when you get out in the networking, you kind of meet people who have skills and they're willing to help you. So they give you some good personal growth books. They invite you to audio book groups. So it's kind of like you're being a self-study. You're kind of learning your business as you go, and we all make mistakes. We probably spent way too much money on different things, from websites to different things, but you kind of learn as you go, basically, and you reevaluate. I reevaluated every 3 to 6 months. Was that group worth it? Well, yeah, probably. So you just keep trying, throw in the dart at something, and hopefully something will stick and you're comfortable with.
That's a great question. I'll give you a tip on that, Tanya. One of the things that when I got started in the financial service industry, and I still do that to this day, I would give myself a syllabus. So that syllabus, I would either break it down into a monthly syllabus or a quarterly syllabus. So I would sit down and actually write down what are the areas that I'm weak at and that I wanted to grow in. And then once I figured that out, I would literally seek out people in books and audio of things that I wanted to do for that quarter or that month. So just like when you go to college, they give you a syllabus. So because when you evaluate yourself, that was one of the things that really, really helped. So just sit down and take an inventory. Take an inventory of where you're at today and where you want to go. And then on that inventory, that month, all I would do, let's just say when I was in financial services and I wanted to learn about annuities, I'll just throw that out there. So if I wanted to learn about annuities for 30 days, because in my mind, it takes 21 days to create a habit, and I always said I'm a little slow, so I'm gonna throw a little extra in there. So for 30 straight days, for an hour or more, I always made it an hour every single day, I would study something on that topic. And because I just focused on that, once you get started on it, the universe just seems to bring you things that will help you get to where you want to be. So give yourself a syllabus of the things that you want to work on, and then that way you're not overwhelmed with trying to do everything. And never put more than 3 things every single day on your to-do list, because that will help you as well. Because the more you have on there, it just never happens. So maybe that can help you out. Great question there. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Yeah, those were great questions. Great questions. So guys, I hope that brought you value tonight. And don't forget your homework. Find out your niche and find some good groups that you can network with. And Tanya says great information, things I'm weak in and strong in, and where I'm at and where I want to go. Absolutely, you got it 100%. And guys, this journey takes time, and when you're a true entrepreneur, you're going to never stop learning. You're going to be like, 105. We're going to be diving out of planes or something, and we're still going to be learning. So never think your journey is going to end. It's just going to grow. That's why you always got to surround yourself by people who are going to take your thinking up to a whole different level. All right, guys, well, we're going to get out of here. We're at this amazing winery. It's so beautiful. It's dark, so I can't even show you guys it now, but we got a few pictures. But I will see you all tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. I'm always on every morning at 7:30. If you think of any other questions, you can go ahead and drop them in the comments. And remember, this is day 2 of 21 days of how to get a business started online. And just think about this, guys. Most successful people have about 7 to 10 businesses that they start, but once you know one, you can always do it because the process never changes. And that's what we're going to help you with. We're going to help you with the system. Love you guys. Appreciate y'all. See you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.